All right, welcome everybody. Let me make sure I get this right. Welcome everybody. This is going to be a fun night here tonight. Going to be flying solo as Hunter is moving this week. Won't be a game tomorrow that we'll be covering, but we have a really good one here tonight. Kintsugi taking on former Fallen Destiny, now JBFC. And honestly, when you look at these two teams, they are on very different tracks right now. Kintsugi, even after what happened about a month ago, looking like one of the best teams right now, 6-2 on the season. Still have 6 more games to go after this one, but a win here tonight puts them in a good spot to making playoffs, especially with what happened earlier in the season. That would be a huge compliment for them, and honestly, right now, they might be on a little bit of a revenge run here. Fallen Destiny, or JBFC, on the other hand, hasn't had the best of starts here just yet. You look at the record, 6-3, or my bad, other way around, 3-6, but they're still technically not out of the playoffs just yet. I'm looking at the standings right now, and really 8th place does have 6 losses hanging around that area. Granted, that means JBFC cannot really afford to lose another game from here on out, but they're still there. And you look at some of the names on this JBFC team. I mean, AJMR, Ginger FIL. I look at some of the subs here. Pantera. I mean, these are good names. I think they just had a really rough start, but it seems like they're finding their footing here as of late. Going up against a really, really tough opponent, though, in Kintsugi tonight, who, like I said, looking like one of the best teams here at the moment. I mean, and you just look at the names. Lich, Juno, Jujitsu, Hitori, Kiwi, Santana. I mean, that's a scary team in its own right, and I would say probably one of the best teams here at the moment. But we're going to get everything started here momentarily. And, I mean, hey, it's going to be a fun series, as I've already said. These two teams, I really do expect it to be back and forth here a little bit. The records right now, we have kind of seen over these last couple of weeks, especially last week, that you can kind of forego what the records are on some teams. I mean, look at Artemis getting a couple big wins here as of late. I mean, Elemental Normal, they are really punching above their weight. They have a big game going on right now against Team Z. I know a lot of people are covering that one here tonight. That should be a fun one. Team Z also has a doubleheader here tonight, I believe. I believe they're playing the Fallen, if I remember correctly here, at 10:30. I'm actually going to take a quick peek at that and make sure that's right, because I know there's a couple good games on. Yeah, so it actually, 10:30 tonight, the Fallen and Team Z. There's going to be a lot of people covering that one as well. And I'm just going to see if, so I know there's another game going on with Hivemind and Ex Oblivione, but I think, as far as I know, there are enough players on that Hivemind roster to actually field a team. But it seems like they've added some here because they only do have 6. I'm just taking a quick peek at that. And yeah, they are picking, so that series will get underway here. Hivemind still looking for their first win of the season. Needs a big one here. They really do, because they are sitting down there with, I believe, Elemental Garden, who have yet to find a win in those relegation spots right now. So a win takes them a long way when you start to look at the standings. But Val focusing back in on our game here tonight. Looks like Busan going to be our first map. Really surprised to see Busan. I always say this a lot. When you see Lijiang Tower in the map pool, you always feel like you're going to see teams gravitate towards that one. But Busan, I feel like, gets a lot of play because certain teams really just want to play more maybe poke or dive than maybe a little bit of brawl. Granted, you can't see that on this map, but it sometimes works out in your favor here. Kintsugi, though, gets first ban here. And it's going to tell us a lot about... I don't like that says 0. It's going to tell us a lot about how they want to go here. And, I mean, you just look at the current meta of the game. There's a lot of variety that could happen. I think that's something that I'm really liking at the moment. There's not a hard set meta. Yeah, D.Va is really strong. Yeah, Tracer is really strong. And, as always, Lucio Kiri is going to be there. But still, you can see teams have their own unique kind of flair to it. And it's always fun to see that here. There we are. The Lucio being banned out first here by Kintsugi. Ooh, that's a fun one. I like disrupting that backline here a lot, even though in even the one team I play on, Lucio Kiri is probably the way we go, and I mostly play the Lucio. I do like seeing the supports get banned out because it does show a lot of different stuff. However, a lot of times when you see that Lucio get banned out, it's normally the Kiriko or surprisingly, no, not my bad, the Juno, or surprisingly, in my opinion, the Wu Yang, who actually gets a decent amount of play. Especially on a map like this, Wu Yang does find some inherent value of being able to poke out some farther back targets, even some of the other support line here. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Kintsugi and JBFC deal with that one here once we get into it. Yeah, PC Newark. Yeah, that's like, I was really wanting to cover that normal and Team Z game because me and Hunter covered Team Z or Elemental Normal 2 times last week, and they seem like a team that is just, if they can find a couple big wins here, they are gonna set themselves up nice to find that last spot in the playoffs, and I think they're gonna be able to surprise a couple people. But Team Z, they have a doubleheader tonight. I think the bigger one is Meow Academy. They have a doubleheader next Saturday. They haven't rescheduled the times. They're both set at 9 p.m., so that's going to have to come up for them here in a little bit as well. But focusing back in on this one here, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I have everything ready to go here as quickly as possible. So the Lucio was the ban from Kintsugi. I'm going to basically hope that Kintsugi is on the left here. Oh, wow, why is this so big? And, I mean, Fallen, JBFC, I have to remember that right now. Again, they have some names on this team that I'm very new to, but AJMR, Ginger Raphael, Pantera have all been names I've seen in the past. They're all really good players. I've been on some really good teams. I mean, Ginger Raphael was on that EU takeover team that last season, which I think a lot of people looked at as like, hey, this is a really strong team, but I don't think they really met expectations. They did make playoffs, but they didn't necessarily, actually, no, they didn't make playoffs. Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a sort of a disappointment there for them because they had some good names on that roster, but ended up just not working out like they did. Diva, though, the other band coming in here. And, man, I have it wrong. Okay. So let me just get these in really quick, and then I will get back to talking about what we are going to be seeing here on our first map of this series.
Now traveling to Busan. Initiating match.
Seal ban in. And let's transition over into our game. If I can find where this is. There it is. All right. This should be a really good matchup, like I said. Starting in on downtown, and this is one of the maps where you can really see a hit scan sort of take over. And I've seen some insane Widow play as of late, but I don't think we're going to see that here. Hello. Hello, streamer name. Crap, I'm going to have to figure out who that is. But, I mean, outside of that, like I said, without this Lucio here, we're actually going to see both these teams tease us with at least that the Cat Bastion composition, or what I like to call the attack helicopter. And I do like that both of them are showing us outside that. I think you want to have as much help as you possibly can. Risk, though, going to be showing us the Bastion to get everything started here for JBFC at the moment. There we go. And I do like this Bastion. I think Axe has been showing a lot of great, a lot of great Malga play, especially over on the side of Ivasi. And it's been really fun to see that because I feel like a lot of people have just kind of given up on it. But the amount of damage you can do here, and you already see him just focusing straight in there. Oh, what the hell was that? As Kiwi now just getting pressured out. Same thing, though, with Bro going to be taken out there very early on. Pipto going to immediately trade it out there onto Hollow Heart. But now Hitori kind of in a bad spot right there. Going to be able to kind of keep themselves alive as you do see Risk miss the jump, but still going to be able to get on the point to a contest. Has to deal with Lich, but that point slowly going away. And if you can find Kiwi on the way out, that'd be a huge pick. Not going to be able to find him there as you're starting to see Pip actually get pressured out a little bit by Lich, who does find them out there. But it does look like it should be JBFC getting the first cap here, and they're going to be able to do that before a touch comes in. Care gets the kill there on the Lich, but still a lot of pressure going on to AJMR right there, and not enough healing in time as Hollow Heart falls there. And right now, if you're Kintsugi, you're just looking for maybe a little bit of a reset here, but you only have Pip and Risk here at the moment. Hitori going in, immediately has to just roll away because staring Malgo down with the ball is not necessarily the best option, but immediately Risk just gets melted down there. The point will flip over, but you'll get basically a good 25% right there for JBFC to get started. Like I said, and I'll say it a lot throughout this series, this is a very important matchup for playoffs for JBFC. They're still technically in it, even with those 3 wins. They just need to find ways to win a lot of their remaining games here. Kintsugi, though, holding on to this point at the moment. And immediately, Hollow Heart going to have some help finding Hitori, or finding Pip there, but now the attack helicopters going at each other up in the sky. Care going to be able to win that one there, as now you start to see JBFC start to take a lot of that space back. Risk, though, running for their life. Care, though, going to use their ultimate just to get rid of Juno. However, Lich on the other side with a double pulse bomb kill there on the Risk and AJMR, and you're just seeing that attack helicopter fly back to base right now. And this is what you want here if you're Kintsugi. I mean, you want to be able to pile up these wins. Probably 2 more wins here guarantees you at least a comfortable spot in the playoffs. And then remember, they have 6 more games left to go after this one. So they might be in a really good spot here. Risk, though, just goes charging in. They have that cage online here to buy him some time. And they're going to use it immediately onto Lich, who's not going to be able to live it. But that attack helicopter in the sky is a little bit too much. Mines, though, coming out from Hitori right before they died. The point, though, will flip over. And now the duplicate from Pip coming out there onto the wrecking ball. Going to be able to find Juno before they get taken out there of that duplicate. Ooh, and they find Kiwi on the way out. That's a huge exit pick right there for JBFC. Now Kintsugi, you look at what they have here. They have Catnap, they have Nano. Same thing could be said for JBFC here. Hollow Heart, though, does have the artillery online, and they do spot out Pip, who now is kind of put themselves into a corner here. Okay. Hollow Heart going to fall there again. Just the Nano being invested there onto Care, going to be able to take care of them. And JBFC doing a really good job here, but Risk doing enough to keep themselves alive here, finding Lich out. Hitori might just need to fall back, but they don't have Kiwi there to be able to keep them alive. Hitori now looking just for anything as Bro going to be able to find Kiwi out there. I mean, a huge late pick there for JBFC, but you start to see Hitori here get set up for a roll in. They're going to try to go after, it looks like AJMR here, but one good sleep could really ruin this plan right now. Not going to be able to find the sleep. Does come out, does miss, though, but they are anteed up at the moment. Point, though, being taken over right now as AJMR still getting harassed out here by Hitori, but they will fall. However, they actually end up getting an equal trade across the board. One Bastion on the ground, the other one in the sky. Now the artillery coming out from Care. Not going to be able to find anything as they're taken out by the Pulse Bomb. Lich, 2 for 2 already with those. But they do find Bro outside of that, and now the point will flip over here, but you're finding a couple late picks here if you're JBFC. If you can get Kiwi out of the sky, that would be huge, but I just don't think you're going to be able to do that. Risk just going to fall back, regroup with the rest of their team here. As now still, Catnap is online here for Kiwi. This is a map where you actually do find a decent amount of value with it, especially because you can just throw someone into a train. But you look at the 2 attack helicopters now, just kind of flying around. Pip gets very low here. Let's just focus in back over on Risk for a moment, as they're just going straight after Juno. Already that Bionade invested on them, and now the helicopters going after each other at the moment. One very much on the ground, now going up in the air, trying to get rid of Hollow Heart. Not going to be able to find that one. Risk on point by themselves, needing all the healing in the world, but Care will get rid of Lich, and now the healing coming here to Risk. Point, though, needs to be touched. Overtime will at least commence here for JBFC. They still need to get rid of this flying helicopter in the sky, but everyone just getting melted down by a Catnap will eventually come out, but will not find anything. Pip, though, coming back in with the Bastion, not going to be able to get there in time. And it will be Kintsugi taking the first point here of the map. A really good back and forth play there from both teams, but it just felt like Kintsugi, once they got control of that point there last, just had a good idea of how they wanted to play. They were playing aggressively, they're playing safe, and outside of that, it was just good play all around there from both these two teams. I mean, you look at the 2 Bastions here, Hollow Heart and Care. I mean, 10-5, 11-3, 6,000 damage, 5,500 damage. I mean, they should be leading the lobby in damage right now. I really do like this Malga, though, to counter out the Cat Bastion, or the Cat Bastion on the other side, because it just puts a little bit more pressure onto you, and once you start that burning onto them, they're gonna have some constant pressure where the Cat most likely the other time will have to go running away here. Outside of that, though, healing pretty even across the board at the moment. Not a big surprise there, as they're both playing Ana and Cat here. Hitori, though, rolling straight the point as you start to see Hollow Heart here get focused in on this high ground with the attack helicopter. However, Care on the other side, playing that attack helicopter actually outside. And this is going to be really interesting to see, because I just don't think this is a good map for the Cat, as you immediately just see Care go straight after Hollow Heart. Going to be able to find them after Lich takes care of AJMR. So even trade across the board right now, but you see how this entire playstyle works with Kintsugi. Once they lose Hollow Heart, they really don't want to engage or be a part of any of these fights. Lich and Hitori are feeling pretty confident to stay a part of these fights because, hey, they have good get-out-jail-free cards. Lich, use that, I'm forgetting it right there. The recall to keep themselves alive here, but they'll eventually be burned down by Risk. Juno going to be able to take care of Care there. Now Risco's charging in with no healing by them. Hollow Heart very low, but barely going to be able to stay alive. Pip, though, finding one. The Pulse Bomb yeeted out there, not going to find anything but the floor. That would have been a huge pick right there for JBFC. Hollow Heart finds them right back, and it does look like it should be Kintsugi. After about 25% yet again here, going to be able to take the point, but you do see Risk come running onto the point here. Get it to stall it out for a little bit longer, get up to 30%, and it is Kintsugi taking control of the point for the first time here. And again, it's going to be really interesting to see how the cats play on this map. You saw the two differences there at the start. Now it looks like Kintsugi's trying to maybe get their cat outside as well. You saw Care and Bro get out there at first, and that's immediately what they're doing here. And Bro, it looks like almost just dropped. No, they did drop him. No. Oh, the unfortunate kind of play right there. And that's what happens when you play by the edges sometimes. You'll just drop your Bastion off into the water. And that's costly for JBFC, because look at what this does to them. It completely forces them to just reset for a brief moment, and they're going to give up the lead because of it. Pulse Bomb online for Lich. Oh, that Nano, or the Anti is out there. They had that Pulse Bomb ready to go. Don't need it, though, as essentially it's a team effort to take care of Risk. And now this is what you want to see Kintsugi just continue doing here. Find those early picks and keep rolling it in. Kiwi finding two. Lich finding another one right there. And it's going to be a reset yet again right now for JBFC. Catnap? Did they actually yeah, they actually pulled in Care. I didn't know Care was alive right there. I forgot they were asleep. But hey, good use of the catnap right there. Fight was basically over. It didn't want to allow Care to get back, and you're staggering them out even more. But look at both these sides right now. 9 ultimates online for both of them. Expect the Nanos to go probably out onto the Bastions for both these teams, unless the Nano from AJMR goes over to Risk. But you already see Hollow Heart getting very low. The Cage is out. The Pulse Bomb, though, does get stuck there, as Risk will fall. And now you're just looking at any kind of thing to go your way if you're JBFC. And honestly, going after Juno here is not a bad idea. You get antied up, but you do find the pick. Hollow Heart does get the Nano. Same thing, though, could be said for, I believe, Care, who does find 2 with their barrage. And that'll be enough for JBFC to retake the point here. And hey, looks like you find 1 kill there with your own catnap. As okay, Risk, I understand what you're doing there. But it doesn't seem like either one of your supports necessarily care.
You're fine.
Hollow Heart flying on the outside of the map right now.
The objective is mine.
Bastion just focusing straight in on Care here. Hittori going to be able to find AJMR, but if JBFC can find that next pick here, it would go a long way. Risk is trying to keep it going on point at the moment. Going to be chasing it down, almost just runs straight off the map, but if they can find Kiwi here, that's a huge pick. However, too far away from the rest of their team. This is going to be very, very bad for them as Pip falls off the map. Risk doing a good job here as that Bastion is off on the side angle here, not going to be able to find anything. Risk falls as well, and only up to AJMR, not going to be able to get the touch. It will be Kintsugi taking our first map of the night. Honestly, good performance there for JBFC, especially with what you're saying, PC, without really a tank. I thought Risk did a good job on it, but it was just a little bit too much in the end, as the Cat Bastion's really strong for both sides. But again, I mean, just back and forth. The Cat Bastions were really fun. There was a moment there. There really was a moment there where I thought JBFC was going to be able to take that first point, but they just kind of let it slip away from them, essentially there. And I mean, Kiwi 13 players save. Pip, I wish I got ones for JBFC. But again, good map for both those 2 ones out of the gate. I'll pull up some stats here in a brief moment. So let's take a look. So, I mean, you look at the DPS line there for Kintsugi, Jujutsu. Oh, so that's who Hollow Heart was. Jujutsu finding 25 elims there on that Bastion. A lot of damage, over 11,000. Being matched by the other side by Care, playing the same Bastion. 17 kills for them, though. And you look at the big difference. Hittori was able to find 27 elims on that Wrecking Ball. I thought that the Malga was going to be a good counter to that Cat Bastion, but it seemed like the Wrecking Ball was just working in tandem with it a lot, just causing a lot of disruption. You would be looking up the sky. You would see Hittori come rolling in, find a lot of damage off that. But still, I think a good performance there from Kintsugi. This is what you would kind of expect from them at this point in the season, especially with this roster. JBFC, though, they did make it interesting at times and definitely could make it interesting as the series goes on. Atlas going to be our next map here, and another map where you could see the Cat Bastion. Orisa going to be taken out here pretty early on. So, I mean, Orisa really good on this map. I think Orisa's just really good in general right now. Doesn't get a lot of play, but I think they're back up into being a little bit useful. However, you do see a lot of people just forego the major perk, which I completely understand. Granted, I'm not that good, so I always pick one anyway. But getting rid of the Orisa here gets rid of Lost Sustain on that tank. However, you still leave Wrecking Ball there. You still leave something like the Diva, something like that Malga as well, and Ramatra. So you do have counters if you're going to be playing that Cat Bastion here as well. But it's now Kintsugi's time to make their ban, and I could see them going a couple ways here. You could go back after that support line, try to get rid of the Cat, but I think it worked out very well for you. You banned out Lucio last map, but you could go after a DPS player here, or DPS hero here. So I'm trying to figure out which one that would be. Potentially Tracer, maybe. I mean, both the teams didn't necessarily play Tracer at all because they had the Bastion there. But hey, we'll figure it out here once we get going into this next map. Lineups being finalized. It's actually, no, it is going to be the Cat coming out here from Kintsugi. That's a little bit of a surprise for me, honestly. Did not expect to see that one here. As I, one moment, get this set up and ready to go. So the Cat came out. The Cat for there. The Orisa there. All right, let's get into our second map of the night here. And I honestly do, I do believe that yeah, Jiu-Jitsu 2. What the? Macaroni glove? What the hell is that a reference to? Okay. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu 2 unbothered to get off streamer mode here. Granted, I don't think they knew anyone was going to be streaming this game. But really no big surprises. Risk sticking on that Malga here. Again, I think that Malga could really work here. It does give Hattori a lot of pressure and a lot of problems if they decide to maybe take a clean fight here. But I do like the Wu Yang coming out here. And the Onron from Pit. We saw a lot of Onron this past weekend in the Overwatch Collegiate Tournament. It was really fun to see it, especially if you played at a high level. It's going to be really interesting to see how it plays here, especially in the hands of Pit, as they're already kind of being pressured out, as you already start to see Hattori being pressured out here, or pressuring out this entire team for JBFC. Pile Drive going to come in there, not going to be able to find much, but you do see a lot of that pressure from Pip going out on them. Going to go away, but it's going to be Care finding the first couple picks here. And if you're JBFC, that's exactly what you want. You find Juno, you find Kiri, you find that backline for Kintsugi, and now it's going to be JBFC getting the first point cap here. And honestly, I think with this composition that they're running, they need to keep the pressure up here. You see Bro going in. AJMR, though, finding one. A huge pick coming out there from the Kiriko, keeping their support brethren alive right now. But I like this from JBFC. Again, keep the pressure up, force Kintsugi to go other ways at the moment, but you need to be able to keep your own team alive. Juno finding the dink there, I believe, onto Wrist. Not going to be able to do much right now, but you do see Hattori coming right back in, focusing in on Care. AJMR getting double teamed right there with a nice play coming out there as Lich. However, Risk going into that backline maybe a little bit too far as the entirety of their team getting destroyed by Hattori on the point. Pip just trying to run for their life. Bro still alive. Will be able to find Lich out. Actually, Pip, though, not going to be able to live, but Bronjam, oh, God. I get what that name is. Bronjam not going to be able to fall out or get out right there. But 73% for JBFC, a really, really good kind of first take. Didn't really build up to any ultimate. You see Lich's Pulse Bomb online, ready to go here. So expect them to try to find a pick onto someone or a stick onto someone here. Someone like Pip who wants to kind of play on their own here. But you immediately see just Hattori running for their own life as the pressure already maybe being a little bit too much to handle here as JBFC comes right back in. And I like this play going straight to point. It is Risk that is doing that here, already forcing out that recall from Lich. Again, Pulse Bomb online for them. Could be a very big thing. Bronjam almost going to take it out, but it's going to be Hattori finding Care. The point will flip over here, so you'll gladly take that Kitsune Rush out from AJMR as they really want to keep this fight going here right now. Mines, though, out as Kiwi. Oh, they get the stomp, but it doesn't necessarily matter. Everyone just blows up right there. Gonna probably get about the 94%, 95% for JBFC. You will gladly take that, but the investment of the Kitsune Rush there for AJMR might be one you want back. As you look over the other side, yeah, you got Mines out, but they have their own Kitsu coming online. They have their Tidal Blast and Jujitsu on the off angle. Oh, the nice pile drive combo going to be able to take care of AJMR, but everyone else for JBFC doing a good job run to point, beating out from Bronjam, and Tidal Blast invested here onto Jiu-Jitsu, going to be going after someone. They will be able to find Care off it, but that point being retaken here at the moment. Pip will be able to find one, just playing their life though. Risk though all alone on point, no healing, no life left for them. And what was looking like a really good start here for JBFC sort of just squanders, falls apart. Pip, though, going to invest the ultimate into this fight. Does find one with it. Needs to keep this contest alive right now. Do they have enough time for Risk to get back? They are trying to focus in on Tori. They are the touch. Overclock out, though, from Care as they're going to get taken out by Jiu-Jitsu on the other side. So really great comeback here for Kintsugi to win this first fight. Yeah, it is really unfortunate that JBFC is playing without a tank, but I think Risk has been doing a good job on this Malga. But you need to have a little more follow-up with your team here right now. I mean, they're still doing good. I'll take a look at the stats. I mean, they're 1-3. Never mind. Kitsune Rush out, though, from Juno, but it's going to be Risk finding Kiwi out, maybe a little bit too aggressive as Juno now getting chunked out. Going to be able to find Braun Jane, but Pip now getting off that on-run, going over to the Genji instead. Finds two almost immediately, and Care shuts down Lich. However, Hitori's still alive somewhere. Looks like they're just going to reset. Actually, no, I see where they are hanging up there. But this point, again, should be taken by JBFC first. And again, you have this cage online for Risk, Pulse Bomb ready for Lich on the other side. I honestly think this is probably the Pulse Bomb from the first point here. Nice cage out onto Kiwi. However, the Minefield's out and Risk just getting bounced around like a ping pong ball right there. Juno gonna be able to take care of Pip in this cage. Yeah, you'll get two, but you give up the point because of it here and now, but you're gonna probably look for a quick retake right now. Lich still alive. Pulse Bomb coming out. They're not gonna be able to find anyone, but they're still going around. Jiu-Jitsu gonna be able to shut down Braun Jame. But I think this is still a moment right now where if you're Kintsugi, you might just give up the point for a brief moment. Lich can try to keep it alive, but Risk going straight in, not going to be able to find anything as Kiwi takes care of them there. Down their tank, it looks like JBFC wants to stay alive in this one, but Hitori just doing what they need to do on this Wrecking Ball, going in, bowling through people. Braun Jame not going to be able to get out, it seems, as Lich takes care of them. And again, good starts for JBFC. They just need to be able to win that next fight, and I think they'll go a long way here. But Hitori showing the tech on the Wrecking Ball. Misses the tech actually right there. Falls off the roof. Still be able to get with their life. Overclock, though, coming out from Jiu-Jitsu right now. In the off angle, Pulse Bomb out from Care. Not going to be able to find one. Jiu-Jitsu finds one, but you see the rest of JBFC just rotate back into the spawn to make sure they don't die. And at this point right now, I don't think we see a touch come out from them. I mean, you're going to be looking at someone like Riz to make the mad dash, and yep, there they go. Actually, they might... They're coming up on it. I think they really expected Care to get there. They just did not get there. An unfortunate play for JBFC as Jiu-Jitsu finds out Risk, and now you're going to just see them start rotating to the next point here. I mean, you're going to take the fight right now if you're JBFC, but Lich is still alive, and they are still doing just numbers at the moment. Hitori cleaned it up right there, and now I'll be heading to maybe the third and potential final point of this match here for Kintsugi, trying to go up 2-0 already. Care now making the swap off the Sojourn over to this Cassidy. I like this a little bit better for them, especially with how Hitori's playing and with how Lich is playing. The flashbang, that momentary stun, you want to be able to find a lot, as you already see Hitori just getting set up, rolling in, pile drive down near the edge of the map. Minefield also did come out from them right there to split up the team for JBFC, and now they're just going to spin the win and roll away with their life for the brief moment. And for the first time this map, surprisingly, Kintsugi with the first cap. JBFC, though, invested Kitsune Rush on this high ground, focusing in a lot as Lich takes care of Care there. Again, Juno now responds to their own Kitsune Rush as you're just seeing this team for Kintsugi start firing on all cylinders. Pip just jumps off the map. Looks like it's probably a little bit of a tactical reset. Braun James gonna be taken out by Jiu-Jitsu right there. Probably was gonna join Pip in the water there. But this is not the start you were looking for JBFC. You wanted a good start on that point. You've had good starts on every other point. Just didn't find it, and now you're starting to be pressured out here by Hitori again, who, I mean, they could just keep on doing this the rest of the map. It's been a struggle for anyone on the side of JBFC to really shut them down. But Care, though, finding one right there, beat out from Braun Jame. And, I mean, if you're JBFC, you need to start rotating towards point. Pile drive from Hitori will land onto someone. Who got... Did Kiwi give it to themselves and walk off the map? They got booped off the map, actually, by Braun James, but Lich picking up 3 already, but you need to clean up this fight right now if you're JBFC. Pulse Bomb Stick can be able to stay alive. The cage now out. However, that's not a favorable cage fight to be a part of as Pip does find Lich. However, you still do see Hitori alive. The blade from Pip, and the point flip does happen. Oh my goodness, Jiu-Jitsu. The blade, even Lich is like saying, why, man? Overtime, though, has commenced. Someone needs to get a touch, and it will be Risk. Care, though, starting to make this Cassidy really work. Does get the silver bullet shot there onto Huey as they will fall. Overclock now out as well from Jiu-Jitsu, who's been really good so far this map. Finds one. I think they're going to give it the point here just for a brief moment as they've already lost a couple, and with Care down, and maybe even Braun James falling here, you have to play safe. Minefield out, though, from Hattori on the point. As actually, no, they're really not on the point for the most part. Most of JBFC can play very safe into this. Nice boop, though, by Braun James to keep Hattori away. And finally, Hattori falls, but you lose Risk as well. And now, Jiu-Jitsu looking for that shot. Just playing it very safe right now, going after Braun James. But Braun James going to be able to find them out right there. However, the trade will happen. AJMR shuts down Lich as now Juno taking on Pip right there as they will fall to Pip. And now Care not going to be able to escape, but still, if you are JBFC, you're holding on to this point. If you can get rid of Hattori right here, that would go a long way, and Pip finds them there. Deadeye beat online for them. A pulse bomb not that far away. Honestly, if you're Care, I might just pop this Deadeye really soon, but they're nowhere near the point. Never mind, check that. Kintsugi playing it slow, going to be able to get the touch. You do see Hattori come right back. And again, no ultimates online at the moment here for Kintsugi. Kitsune Rush and Pulse Bomb about to be online. There's the Deadeye, going to be able to find Hattori. That's not what you want to see fall first. Back and forth beat now. Out as well from Braun James. You just need to clean up this fight as you're starting to do that right now. JBFC looking like they're going to be able to extend this map at least one more point. The only one left alive, I believe, is, well, yeah, Juno. They'll get the overtime touch, but it'll be a fleeting one there, as it will be JBFC winning this third point to force a fourth one. And granted, it did come at the cost of your beat and your Deadeye, but hey, if you were holding on to those and you lost that fight, you would lose the map and you would just regret not using them. You look over to the other side, though. You have this Kitsune Rush and this Pulse Bomb online. Juno's not been afraid to play aggressively so far. Same thing with Hattori, but I like Kiwi going back over to this Wu Yang here right now. A lot of poke damage, like I said. They can play far back, but they're starting to be pressured out by Pip, which is one thing you want to be seeing this Tracer do for your team, pressuring out those heroes that are playing in the backline. Right now, for the most part, outside of Tori, the majority of Kintsugi is playing in that backline. Juno will fall, but Care immediately trades it out on to Hattori. And Pip, talk about someone who's really come alive right now for this JBFC team, finding 1-2, trying to get rid of the third here. It'll be AJMR that shuts down Lich, but just a good team fight right there as JBFC finds the first point cap for the third time already this map. Hattori, though, Minefield online. I would expect to see that here very, very soon, especially as they are basically trying to back cap by their team a little bit of space, but Pip going after them right now. Going to force them to use a couple of their abilities right now. Minefield's out, though, on point. Cage, though, immediately on them. I like this combo, but Pip does fall. However, if you can trade it out onto Hattori, it will be huge. And you do just that. Point almost being taken here. Juno now starting to go in with 2 picks here for Kintsugi. The point will eventually flip here right now, and if you're Braun James, I mean, this is a nice stagger, actually, by Kintsugi. Braun James not going to be able to probably escape with their life here. There we go. Eventually, Jiu-Jitsu will take them down.
What's up?
And, I mean, you're looking at this right now. Overclock and Tidal Blast online here for Kintsugi very soon. You only have the Pulse Bomb online here for JBFC. Not that far away from another Deadeye and a beat here. You really want to be able to win this fight dry, essentially, if you're JBFC. Overclock, though, out from Jiu-Jitsu as you really just start to see everyone run away, but Hattori coming in there to save their teammate's life there as Care was going to be able to take him out for sure. Oh my goodness, the beat out just a little bit too late, and now this becomes a must-win fight here for JBFC, trying to find that one person still standing on point, but Braun James actually going in, finding 2, looking for a third Tidal Blast on them, and they decide, yeah, I need to turn tail and run. Let that ultimate fade away, but still, it is Kintsugi holding on to the point here at the moment. Risk trying to do all they can to clear off this point, but still, big point. You see a lot of people just kind of stalling around. It will be Lich. Eventually, they'll get off, and it will be JBFC taking control of the point. And now Stomp not going to be able to find it there as Lich doing essentially God's work there on the Tracer. Eventually, Pip on the other side will be able to take care of them, and now JBFC in another spot right here. One team fight is all they need, and they're playing very far up. I don't blame them, especially with how Risk has been playing this Malga as of late. Everything's starting to go their way. Braun James gonna be able to find them out there, and I mean, you're gonna probably see a touch from Kintsugi, but I just don't know if it's going to be worth it here in the end. You're maybe trying to get rid of a couple ultimates on the side of JBFC, which granted, they will invest here. They will surely invest a couple ultimates just to try to get this point out. As Lich has Pulse Bomb online, nowhere near point it seems, and Kintsugi Rush out. Care with the Deadeye, looking for whatever they can, it seems. Not going to be able to find anything other than a little bit of damage. Kintsugi Rush now out from AJMR. All the ultimates being expended at the moment. Lich, though, taken out before they could expend their Pulse Bomb. Hitori still alive on point, but it will be JBFC trying to reverse sweep this map to even up the series. Whew. Braun James, I mean, give it up to them. They had an incredible point right there. Finding a lot of picks. I believe only dying in the one fight they honestly lost there. I mean, I'm just getting 21 and 15 right. Oh my God, 21 and 15. I mean, again, if JBFC comes back and wins this map, an overall incredible performance, and the stats will not look good, but hey, they win the map. Braun James, though, not going to have the same kind of momentum they had last point, as they're already taken out very early on this time. As Satori now starting to find a lot of value. The cage fight comes out. The Pulse Bomb, though, stuck on the wrist. Again, I don't think there's going to be enough healing in the world to keep them alive there, and JBFC going to have to just go back to the drawing board here, regroup, as it will be Kintsugi capping our final point here first. Actually, wait, is Satori making a swap here? Hitori's going over to their own Malga here as well. Overclock coming out now from Jiu-Jitsu. If everyone can avoid this for JBFC, it would be huge, and they do that. They avoid it all. Now they can play a little bit aggressive here. Risk just goes running straight to point right now, but you need a lot of healing to keep that Malga up and alive, especially in the face of another Malga. Beat online here for Braun James! But it comes out a little bit too late to save Risk, who was very vitally needed for this fight, but Braun James doesn't care. They're going in, finding a couple picks. Care now is showing that they have a lot of fight left in this one. If they're taking care of one, Pip will find Hitori, and now Lich. I mean, they've done God's work in the past, stalling out the point. Not going to be this time, though. JBFC trying to reverse sweep the map here to win it in a good spot right now. Kintsugi Rush online here very shortly, but really nothing else. They're going to need to play very safe here because one fight is all that Kintsugi really needs. Not only to get the point back, but potentially maybe just to get that point back and start taking space to make sure JBFC never sees it again here. They're playing very safe at the moment. Hitori just trying to poke out a little bit of damage right now. Same thing with Risk. Both these Malgas doing really good, but Risk, I mean, like I said, they've been doing really good on this Malga all night long, forcing a little bit of a fallback right now from Hitori. Kintsugi just building up those ultimates. That's what you like to see. Beat. Kintsugi Rush, Pulse Bomb online. There's a Kintsugi Rush, the beat coming out potentially at the moment. There it is from Kiwi. Kintsugi Rush out from the other side as you're just seeing both the Malgas essentially trying to melt each other down. They're actually going to stall each other out here for a moment. Lich, though, finds the first pick in this fight. Braun James, again, they have just been insane these past couple fights for their team. Juno, they're going to be able to take care of AJMR. The cage, though, out the beat. Not going to be actually going to be enough to save them. But Braun James now needs to be the hero for this one. They're now trapped. Pip, though, with two. Is this going to be enough for JBFC? Is there anyone there? They will not get back. JBFC with the reverse sweep. They'll find a win and even up the series. Wow, what a performance. What a performance. Jiu-Jitsu gets play of the game as they had some insane plays, but JBFC, man. Like I said, this team still in playoff contention needs to start finding some wins and getting a big win over Kintsugi. That would take them a very, very long way and give them a lot of confidence here in their final couple games. But on it, like, you started to see it just felt like everyone on JBFC was slowly starting to figure it out a little bit. They were getting a little bit more confidence in them. And I mean, you saw Pip, you saw Braun James, you saw a lot of that team just start going in. It looked incredible for them. And again, they're down a tank. And they're down a tank here. Runasapi going to be our next map. But they're down a tank, as you've said a couple times here already. Ginger Rayfell is the tank that I know on this team, but you have to give a lot of credit up here to, wow, why am I forgetting their name? To Risk. Risk has been doing such a great job on this Malga. And honestly, Kintsugi, they have this map pick, bringing us to Runasapi. I think you almost kind of have to ban out the Malga here. And if not, you're going to be holding on to the Malga here for a little bit longer. I think you're at least going to be holding on to it for one more map. But I think that's the risk you're going to have to take here. Nope, it's just the Malga out immediately. They do not want to see it. So now, what does Risk have else in their bag? That's going to be the big question. Going to be the huge question here for JBFC. What else does their tank player, not a tank player, have in that tank pool? Or do we see someone else maybe swap over to that tank line here for them? Oh, man, it's going to be really interesting to see. But again, the Malga coming out here from Kintsugi. Again, I think they need to get rid of it now. I think they're going to be able to deal with it on other maps. On a map like Runasapi, it's a really good map for it. However, the Orisa could have been back in play there. You saw JBFC ban it out last map because I think they really wanted to make sure that Risk would not get countered out. And yeah, the Tracer can be banned out here now for Kintsugi. Or JBFC banning out the Tracer. And I do like that ban. I really do. I think both the Tracers have been showing a really great play so far throughout the night. Let me get these bans in. JBFC banned out the Tracer. And Kintsugi bans out the Malga. All right, let's get into our third map of this series. And again, it's been a really, really good series. I mean, JBFC, I'm not going to say got dumpster on that first map, but it was back and forth at times, but Kintsugi eventually took it away. That last map there of Atlas, it seemed like it was going the same exact way there for a little bit. It really did. It seemed like Kintsugi got off to such a good start, but JBFC kept on fighting for it here, and you already immediately see both the teams go back to the Cat Bastion here. But different tanks. Satori sticking with that Wrecking Ball. On the other side, though, Risk showing us the Zarya. First time we're seeing that hero throughout the night. So, I mean, I think this Cat Bastion is going to do a lot of work here. I think you're looking at over at Pip. You're looking over at Lich to be the difference makers here on this map, at least early on, because there is a chance I could realistically see both these teams just go away from it here at the moment. But you already see Hattori kind of just getting set up, rolled in here. No speed really on either side, as you already do see the two Bastions going at each other up there in the sky. Hattori just patiently waiting, getting a lot of good recon here from those two heroes up in the sky, as you start to see a couple players at Risk actually take some pop shots up there. And Hattori actually misses the rollout there, as again, just a little bit unfortunate. Lich still going to be able to shut down Pip. The bubble, though, going straight over on to Care to try to keep him alive here, as they're now rolling away. And honestly, there might be a little bit of a drop here from Bron James, but it will be Kintsugi getting the ball rolling here first, or the cart rolling here first. However, again, you're still looking for that first team fight win, and just getting rid of Pip will not be enough here for them. Bron James trying to do what they can here, and I actually like this a lot. Risk to be able to find Lich out here, and now they're going to be able to provide a lot of pressure. They're going to push up this bot as far as they can go here, as you do still see Macaroni Glove and them up in the sky. Say goodbye to Care, but now Pip, they need some care of their own. And I like what Bron James is doing here, just going straight after Kiwi on the other side there for a brief moment. Still, though, Risk has not really been challenged on this low ground at the moment. Nice bubble going out there, as Bron James going to be able to find Kiwi. Now this Bastion without their helicopter here. Risk, though, may be without life, as yeah, it will be Jujitsu shutting them down there for the moment. Still, though, only about 13 meters have gone here in about the first 2 minutes. Tells you how important this first real big team fight is here, as AJMR almost getting taken out, going to be healed back up. Juno, though, very low on health, being pressured out, not going to be able to find much. And Catnap actually implied they're on to Hattori. They are put to sleep. However, you will lose Pit. You need to be able to find Hattori. Care does find them. Bubble coming out to save them, and now Care going to use this artillery to try to find out Juno, who's running for their life, and will eventually fall. Huge picks early on. Lich, though, does find AJMR, and I think you can start moving this bot right now if you're JBFC. 2 minutes gone. 2 minutes gone. Oh, PC, you missed it. It was a reverse sweep on Atlas for JBFC to win that map there. Pip started going insane. Bron James actually was maybe the standout player for me last map for JBFC. That Lucio they were playing was just finding so many picks that they should not have been finding. Risk, though, taking a 1v1 with Lich here, who honestly might be able to get rid of them, but no, gonna have to kind of fall back. Now definitely has to fall back as they are antied for the brief moment. Doesn't want to use a bubble on themselves just yet, but they might need to right now as they're about to die. Pip, though, finding Kiwi out. And, I mean, the artillery comes out. Doesn't find anyone care, though. I mean, they've been, I think, consistently winning this Cat Bastion comp. Lich, though, will shut down AJMR, but you're looking for a little bit more right now. Lich trying to roll away. Gonna be using that duplicate onto the Wrecking Ball here, but still nothing really coming from it just yet. Pip will fall, but they will be able to find Hittori, and now, I mean, you're gonna get rid of the duplicate right there, and honestly, there's a part of me that's really thinking if someone just backcapped that part or that bot there for JBFC, they might have been able to actually get the forward spawns right there. But look at like almost 3.5 minutes gone. There's only been 48 meters captured here by both these teams. This has been a map that I've seen people cap the first checkpoint after winning the first fight in the first 2 minutes. These two teams are going back and forth with each other here, and they're trying to be very, very careful about how they're playing. Hittori, though, on the high ground, does have these mines ready to go here. Gonna get all the momentum in the world. Gonna go straight after AJMR. Oh, that's targeted as it can get right there, but almost Lich falling there. Pip, though, not going to be able to escape it. Care will fall down, gets put to sleep, but Braun James, again, they are not afraid to find some picks there. They will eventually fall, but again, just back and forth here as, dear God, can I find someone who's alive? But the lead going to be given over here to Kintsugi right now. Still more than half that time bank left on the clock here for them. Risk, though, does have this grab ready to go, and because both these teams are playing Cat Bastion, I mean, if you can find two people with that grab and just kill them, it's already immediately valued. There's no beat on the other side, and if Kiwi tries to get close and try to pull you out, they'll probably most likely just get sucked in, and they get forward spawns. Lich takes care of Pip. I mean, yeah, you immediately fall right back in there as now it's Braun James trying to get out with their life here. Okay, man. Hittori, what are you doing up there? Catnap did come out from Kiwi. Looks like it missed. But what we're seeing plays right now that I don't think anyone ever expected to see. Care going to be able to shut down Hittori. Lich falls as well. And, I mean, forward spawn's going to be reset here right now. And if you're JBFC, you honestly might be able to get the forward. You might be able to get the checkpoint off this fight. If there's one thing I needed before this series starts was more water. Care trying to get rid of the nano invested on them, and watch out Jiu-Jitsu. They are just running for their lives here. They got a nano onto them as well, but Jiu-Jitsu putting in a lot more damage. Checkpoint, though, gonna be almost capped there. Pip falls. So close. Macaroni Glove almost being taken out. Now the artillery coming out from them here as they're going straight after AJMR. And yeah, the Ana is not necessarily going to be able to live that here, but still you have the majority of the team alive here. The Catnap is out. I thought I heard the Catnap come out there from Braun James. Looks like it wasn't. Lich, though, duplicating into the Zarya right now, getting pressured out a little bit by Pip, who's just rolling away. But, I mean, if you can get a grab right now, Risk, barely escaping with their life. I don't think you're going to be able to get a grab here if you're Lich. But Hittori does find Care, so you'll gladly take that pick. And remember, you already got the forward spawn to the checkpoint right here. If you're Kintsugi, you're going to be able to add on to your lead. Now, Braun James going in, going to be able to get out with their lives here. These two Cat players, they've been putting on a little bit of a show here. Juno going to be able to shut them down, though, as you slowly start to see JBFC have to fall back here. And if Risk can find this pick here, they won't be able to, as they're just kind of looking up at the sky, and everyone on the ground is focusing in on them. But now Kintsugi building onto their lead. I forgot how the Lego Bastion sounds. That sounds actually kind of pathetic. Oh dear God, I hear everyone else talking. Hittori, though, asleep in the backline, and Hittori not going to be able to get out right there. Nice sleep by AJMR, who's honestly been doing really good on this Ana. Both the Anas have been doing really good throughout this map here and so far. Pip, though, needing a lot of care here. But, I mean, with Kintsugi, you have this big lead. Falling back is not necessarily the worst thing you could do here. As AJMR in that backline going to be pressured out by Lich. Care going to be able to find them. That would have been a huge pick there. Now the duplicate onto the Bastion here. You already have one Bastion alive. I don't think you're going to get the boost here from them, but I mean, if you could build up to an artillery, that would be huge for them as they're looking for anyone. Focusing in on Hattori will get that artillery just based off them. They need to get off fast, though, but they won't be able to. Just put it out as fast as you can. Not going to be able to get anything from that here. But the bot now on the other side as Hattori in that backline. Going to be able to drop the mines. Pip will find one, but Risk, I don't think we'll be able to get out with their lives here. Care, though, with the Nano, trying to do what they can, but it won't be enough here as I think JBFC, you lose Bron James, and now Care is a little bit of a sitting duck. Risk and them are going to be staggered out here immensely, and it's going to be costly for them. 2 minutes left on the clock here for JBFC, and they need a little bit of a miracle at the moment, especially when you look at the ultimates online for the other side, Artillery, Catnap, and Nano. You invested your Nano in that last fight there in a losing effort for JBFC. AJMR, though, focusing in on Lich here. Forward spawns, back in control for Kintsugi. You need this grab to really be able to find multiple people right now. Yeah, if you can get rid of that Cat Bastion or hell, just a Bastion, you'll gladly take it, but you need to find a quick team fight win here if you're JBFC. Hattori is trying to provide what pressure they can. The sleep goes out, I believe, misses. Catnap out. Going to be able to find, I don't know who it found. I thought it grabbed someone, but I just think it missed again. Or they just got taken out very quickly there. But this is the kind of fight you want here if you're JBFC. Haven't invested your own ultimate. Actually, you invested the Catnap. It was Bron James who invested the Catnap. I thought it was actually, no, Kiwi invested as well. Both of them coming out there in that fight. But a minute left to go here. Down about 47 meters. You cannot afford to really lose another fight here. And this could be a play, honestly, as you immediately just see them going after each other up there. Going to fly right back to safety. But you might want to be dropping this Zarya here in a brief moment, actually. Oh my goodness, from downtown, it captures nobody, but I love the idea coming out. Risk, though, going to be put to sleep, and I don't think they're going to be able to wake back up. Care also invests the artillery. Man, if that play worked, it would have been huge. Now, though, I think that fight or that play might just end the map here for JBFC as everyone kind of starting to fall. I'm surprised you're seeing the cart or the bot be pushed up here for Kintsugi. Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to... Risk is there to get a touch, especially because everyone on Kintsugi has just brought this cart back. The minefield's out, though. Actually, Risk is... There's no way they get a touch coming out here. Touch does come out from Care, but they immediately die. Jiu-Jitsu gets the Nano, and yeah, that will do it here. Again, back and forth there for a brief moment. Those first 3 minutes were so back and forth with these two teams, but once Kintsugi started to get the ball rolling, JBFC could just not keep up, and Kintsugi now puts themselves on to series point here. But hey, we've seen it in the past. JBFC, they have some fight in them. They have to pick the best map that they possibly have, and you have to remember, the Mauga is back next time for them. Again, these Bastions have been so impactful in these two competitions for both these teams. Kara, I think, has normally been the one coming out on top of them for the most part throughout the entire night. But still, I think just better team play coming out from Kintsugi has been winning them these maps here. Let's go back over to here. And, I mean, we already do see the process of the next map getting started here. Fallen Destiny will have the map pick and first ban, but let's look at some stats there from that last map. Jiu-Jitsu and Care both playing those Bastions, a lot of damage. Jiu-Jitsu led the lobby in damage, over 1,000 more than, I mean, my bad, Care led the lobby in damage, 1,000 more than Jiu-Jitsu, but again, you look at Lich and Pip, that difference there was immense. Double the elims, probably the main reason why Kintsugi won, but at the same time, Hattori playing this Wrecking Ball has just been a constant nuisance all night long for Fallen Destiny. I think now might be the time to ban out the Wrecking Ball. Heading over to Havana, not necessarily known as a Wrecking Ball map, but if there's one thing I know about Wrecking Ball players, they will play Wrecking Ball on any map possible. And I mean, especially first point and third point, Wrecking Ball does have some areas that they could really excel on. Second point, I think struggles a little bit more into it, but still, like I said, they will play the Wrecking Ball until their final breath here. But is that what JBFC wants to do? Sorry, girl. Didn't mean to kick you. But is that what they want to do? Does JBFC want to get rid of the Wrecking Ball here? I think it would be the smart thing because, I mean, if you win this map, you're going to not have the first ban and you're probably just going to see a Wrecking Ball protection ban come out from Kintsugi. But hey, I mean, I think probably going into the series here tonight, I think a lot of people probably looked at this one as a 3-0. JBFC, though, again, a team that has looked very good throughout the night. Risk off-rolling on a tank, I think, has looked really good. I think this Cat Bastion is working out very well for them, but I think you're just seeing Kintsugi having a little bit more experience under their belt, especially Hattori on that Wrecking Ball. I always call those kind of comps chaos comps because that's exactly what they are. You add in that Cat Bastion, it's a lot to deal with. But heading into Havana, looked at as a poke map, do you see that Malga come back out? I think if you're JBFC, the answer is probably yes here for them. But again, really comes down to what the ban is from them. They only have a couple seconds left here to make that ban, actually. Oh. So the Sigma being banned out here, I think, really just leads into the fact that they really want to be able to play this Malga without any kind of stoppage. So you get rid of a really good poke tank. This is a good map for those poke tanks. So you get rid of the Sigma here. Really only allow maybe the Ramatra or the Domina to be played. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be trying out the Domina because as of late, I've just seen that Domina get stepped on. And not in the good way. But now Kintsugi, they have a chance to ban here. And you could get rid of the Cat, you could get rid of the Bastion. Both these teams have been playing them, so that could be an option here for them. I could see them going after the support line here again. That is the Cat, but you could get rid of something like the Kiriko here. However, I think that plays a little bit better into that Bastion, so keeping that Kiriko there, I think, is going to be vitally important for both these two teams. But I'm just trying to think, like, I don't think you necessarily have to... Honestly, yeah, no, wait, I think we've already seen a ban for the Lucio come out from Kintsugi. Bron James on that second map really, really made that Lucio look like almost an unbeatable force there for a little bit. But second ban did come in. Sigma the first one. Kiriko actually coming out here as the second ban. Surprising me a little bit. I thought we would see the Kiriko stick around here and already heading in very quickly. Let me try to get... Oh my god, stop swapping sides. I will get us into the map as soon as I get these bans in. So it was the Sigma for JBFC, and it was the Kiriko for Kintsugi. All right, let's head into our potential final map of this series here on Havana. And coming out of the gate, not necessarily a big surprise to see the Cat Bastion come out for both these teams. Pip, I wish he would have stayed on the Sierra. That would have been a fun thing to see. Jiu-Jitsu is now Antler. Okay. But Hattori getting off the ball for the first time, I think even they understand, like, even though they could really realistically play Wrecking Ball on this map, might not be the best play for them. Going over to Zarya instead might be the better way to go because they want to be able to end this series here and now, move themselves up to 7-2 on the season and put themselves in a really good spot heading into their final 6 games of the season here. But again, going to be watching these cat Bastions up in the sky here, because they are basically going to be how this map goes for both these teams. But risk on this tank, especially when they're playing the Malga, has worked out very well for them here so far throughout the night. They're both just kind of staging here. I mean, you're getting a lot of good intel right now from both these teams. But I think, yeah, Care did see Kiwi up there in the sky. Going to put a lot of pressure onto them. But AJMR also silently had a really good series here on this Ana. Focusing in on Pip, but again, I think risk on this Malga has been a really good kind of counter to slowing down the Cat Bastion on the other side. They need to play in areas where they're going to be able to find a lot of healing right now because they're going to be focused out here basically almost any time. But Care takes one up on Jiu-Jitsu here again. Pip finds Kiwi, and this is exactly the start you're looking for here if you're JBFC. The charge going to go in, not going to be able to find the pick just yet. But if you can find one more pick here, you might be able to make sure there's not a contest here. As Hattori now running in. Honestly, where's Karen and the rest of JBFC? I mean, if you could have found Hattori there, that would have been big. But look at this. Lich getting off the Tracer, going over to the Emre instead. First time we've seen them all series long. Jiu-Jitsu could have used that turret or turret form very early on, and now everyone just focusing straight in on Hattori. They do not care about those bubbles. Going to melt them down almost immediately. Jiu-Jitsu trying to come in and get the touch, but JBFC, a perfect life there on this first point push, casually going through, making it look easy. And, I mean, you eventually will find risk, but Kiwi, Juno not going to be able to escape that time around, and I mean, if you're JBFC, this is the start you were looking for. I mean, it was close there for a little bit last map at the start, then got away from you. This time, though, you're just rolling into it. I mean, this Cat Bastion has worked out a lot better for them than it has for Kintsugi throughout the night. Care and Bron James have been doing an incredible job on it. Juno, though, has that nano ready to go. Jiu-Jitsu already getting picked up here. However, like I said, I think this second point is going to be very difficult for the Cat Bastion to kind of fly around because there is a ceiling. Nano, though, invested onto Care and onto Jiu-Jitsu early on, and Hitori actually takes himself out here. If Care can find one pick here, it would go a very long way to even up the fight, but they're kind of playing for their own life. Not going to be able to find much here as Risk now maybe a little bit too far forward. Get a run back to the safety of their own Ana here in the basement. Jiu-Jitsu looking for the carry. Actually, Kiwi looking to pick up Jiu-Jitsu here as Risk misses the runaway, but not going to be punished just yet. Lich was on that Emery for a brief moment before going straight over to this Cassidy. However, could we see a Fly Noon come out here? Pip does have that Deadeye ready to go, and it actually looks like that's what they're setting up for here at the moment, but it looks like Kara got picked up instead, but still that Fly Noon could be on the board here, and yep, there it is. Coming out from them now, just buying their time here. Don't want to get caught out too early here. High Noon out, gets put to sleep. Good night and good life there for Pip. Hitori, though, getting pressured out here. Everything going into them. Artillery coming out now from Jiu-Jitsu. Might just be thrown all onto Risk. Not going to be able to find anything with it. Kara, though, does find one with theirs. Even trades across the board here. Now, really, even Bron James, though, is out. Juno going to be able to find AJMR and Care. That's the Care for their own life here at the moment. So a reset coming in, and now Lich playing with fire. They know how to deal with it, apparently, as Lich finds two. Could we be seeing just a stall here on the second point? I mean, we see it a lot. This is a very difficult point to push through. Pip now getting off the cast, going over to the Tracer. And now it looks like Kintsugi setting up for a Fly Noon of their own. Hitori does have the grab online. That's going to be a big thing going into this fight. But it's going to be Jiu-Jitsu being picked up here again. That's kind of what you expect. Artillery form out right now, but they're going straight in. The Nano invested on them, but they get put to sleep. Woke it up immediately, but the Nano's not necessarily going to find anything here for Kintsugi. It's just going to be enough to keep him alive. Nano now invested onto Care as they're going in. High Noon out, though, from Lich. Not going to be able to find anyone as AJMR shuts them down, and this should be the fight you're looking for here if you're a JBFC. Taking care of Kiwi. Just need to get someone on that card to get it moving here. Don't want to allow a recontest to come back in, but you're going to be able to clean it all up there. You do see Juno outside the door, but if you're Risk, you're just going to start walking up, try to take that space, force them to that other door. You already see Juno there, so you know they're already heading for it. Pip, though, going to be able to meet them, but Lich takes care of them. However, Bron James again. Whenever just JBFC team needs a pick, Bron James has been the person so far throughout the night in a lot of cases to be able to find that one. Pip going over to the Widow. I love this. I love this play. If you can find one early pick, especially onto someone like Kiwi, who now the catnap actually finds a little bit of value here with that ultimate, as both these cats have been holding on their catnaps for a long time, could be a big play here from them. Risk, though, going straight after Hitori. What happened to Care? Risk just going to run for their life. You're going to be able to get out with it, but this is valuable card space that they're actually getting here at the moment. Hitori does have this grab online, and here we go. The grab going to come out, and yeah, they just wanted to get rid of Pip, and Pip in general right there, but Hitori now is getting some help from the cat to be able to get out. Bron James will be able to find Kiwi, so Hitori not going to be able to escape with their own life there. Catnap did come out from Bron James, who I believe they did capture someone. It was Jiu-Jitsu right there, and now you're seeing JBFC get this cart rolling again here. Catnap expended. Pip, though, going over to the Sierra. This has been a hero that I've been wanting to see a little bit, especially when this composition comes out, this Cat Bastion, because if you can land that tracking dart or that homing dart onto probably most likely Kiwi, they're going to have to just hide for a little bit, only buying your team more space. Drone out there, going to try to get an off angle here. Sees Kiwi just going to play safe here. Care, though, has his artillery ready to go, but again, you're seeing why this Bastion's doing so good into this flying, or why this Malgo's doing so good in this flying Bash here. And now the swap from Hitori. Grapple coming out here now from Risk. They want to get in that back line, going to go chasing in, running on air there, but now they might need a little bit of help here as the artillery does come out. Pip going to be able to find one, but you're seeing trades back and forth. Catnap, though, from Kiwi. Yeah, no, it actually does have someone, and oh, Pip tried, but not going to be able to get up. But you look at this cart now. Bron James going after Kiwi here. Going to be able to run away with their life, but look at where that cart is. Care doing enough here to at least keep it going, but it looks like Hattori will be able to find them and Bron James. But look at that time bank right now. Still over a minute. You love that fight there, honestly. If you're Kintsugi, you only really use the catnap early on, and look at Kiwi, already 50% to another one, but Hattori needs a little bit of health here as they're already looking low. That Fortify get out to come out here momentarily. The Spear Spin actually is the first one to come out, but Deadeye ready for Lich is what you're looking at here. Fly Noon still on the table for them. There it is. They have one. They're going to be able to find Care out, and now Bron James not going to be able to escape with their life this time around. A 1-for-1 fight right there, and now the Nano out onto Hattori. Gonna just buy time. I mean, you're doing a good job here if you're Kintsugi, just eating away at this time bank. Risk will fall, and that's going to force an even longer stagger to come out here from them.
30 seconds.
And right now, I mean, you look over at the side here. Jiu-Jitsu now using this artillery. They're just going to probably drop it at the spawn doors. And focus it on AJMR. Not going to be able to find a pick with it that time, but it buys time, and that's exactly what you're looking for here. Now, look already at Risk running in. Not a lot of health on their side. Same thing could be said for Bron James. It's going to be a tough push here as Hattori does have his Terror Surge online. They could really just try to play aggressively here. Use it early to make sure there's no touch, but the touch does come out. The homing trackers hit onto Hattori. Not going to be able to find them out just yet. Oh, that would have been costly. Now, though, invested Care going to be able to find one. There's that Terror Surge out. Risk, though, going to be picked up by Kiwi, thrown off the map. Kiwi with 2 in this fight. Bron James, though, says goodbye to Hattori. But it won't just be enough there for JBFC, as they'll get shut down before capping that 3rd point. But getting the 3rd point in its own right is an incredible push on this map, and JBFC did a really good job on that 1st point. One fight was all they need, basically, to win it. Take a look at some stats here now.
Initiating match.
I mean, one big thing with this composition, both the DPS are getting very, very active in the kill feed. They're finding a lot of damage. You look at AJMR, you look at Bron James, that's about 5,500 damage right there. I mean, you look at Pip, you look over at okay, never mind. You look over at Pip, who is playing a Tracer, who was playing a lot throughout that round there. Only 5,000 damage. I mean, if you're getting the same amount of play out of your support lane as you are out of one of your DPS heroes, you are loving that right now. A little bit more healing on the side of Kintsugi, but again, playing defense is a little bit easier to get healing there. Juno only dying 2 times, big factor for them that round. I thought they were doing an incredible job. I think, like I've been saying, both these Anas have just been playing incredible throughout the series here. Really, both these teams have, but what does Kintsugi have here? Does JBFC hold them down on this 1st point and 2nd point, or do we see this series end here and now? Only time will tell here, but no big shocks from either team so far. Get out real quick. And I mean, you saw the Cat Bash in last round. You're probably gonna expect to see the same kind of play come out here, as you already see Kiwi and Jiu-Jitsu going up there, and they exactly know where Care and Bron James are here, or Bron James are. But Hattori going over to this Orisa, I think that's gonna be a big thing for them. I just really thought that they were getting kind of just outpaced by Risk there a lot, but Care will find Jiu-Jitsu, however, they'll be taken out there by Lich. Again, I think Risk playing this Malga had just been a little bit too much for this flying combo here with the Cat and Bastion. Just a lot of damage coming into you at once. The Cat cannot out-heal that right there, and it's been working out very well from Hattori now being pressured here a little bit. Is on fire for the brief moment. You do see Jiu-Jitsu and them come right back in, but look, again, just the double damage there into them. Jiu-Jitsu gonna barely be able to stay alive. Risk, though, on the other hand, not gonna be able to do it. Bron James will find one as they start to heal up their support line brethren, as they're gonna try to get them out of dodge here. Gonna barely be able to, and now going in after Lich. AJMR gonna be able to find them, but is it gonna be enough here for JBFC to get back and just stabilize here? Hattori now finding one. Care, though, I believe is still alive over here. Yeah, you do see Hattori up there, just falling back for a little bit of safety, but Risk now gonna have to play their life for a brief moment. Hattori finding Pip out again, not what you wanted to see. And I like what we're seeing here from Kintsugi, taking a lot of space. Nice sleep onto them. the ante came out, it was not there. Terror Surge online, going to be able to find AJMR before it is even needed. Risk now just stalling out Cart for a little bit longer here. As Care actually finds a Tori, this fight's actually still available here for JBFC, but the Nano now invested onto Lich, finds one, looking for a second one as well. That first point yet to be capped right now. Oh my goodness, Lich with the flicks. So first point capped here pretty quickly for Kintsugi. Not as quickly as it was for JBFC, who had over 5 minutes going to second point, but they did lose a lot of time there. The only swap so far is Pip going over to this Genji here. But again, I think Hattori going over to this Orisa has been a big difference maker. It's really forcing Risk to play a little bit differently, have to just not be able to walk right through anything right now. That spear spin and just the spear itself does a lot. The Nano invested on the Care. Care, I thought, got stunned out there for a brief moment, but this is just going to be a really quick fight right now for JBFC, and you really should try to find out Kiwi there, but yeah, you'll take the stagger on the Lich as Risk takes care of them. One fight down. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. You're probably looking for about 4 more good fights here for JBFC. And, hey, 1 ultimate invested there, you will gladly take that. A little bit of intel here from Care on that off angle. You do see Braun James come up to pick them up. The Catnap actually comes out there onto Braun James. Worst case scenario here is now you see Risk going right after Kiwi, trying to get rid of them here. Not going to be able to find them as Jiu-Jitsu finds a couple here. Make it 3 for them. And now it's going to be a really mad dash for JBFC to get back in here. Pip will stall out the cart there for a brief moment, but it's a team kill now for Kintsugi, and they're putting 3 on this cart. Like I said, it's going to be really difficult for JBFC to get back in here. Hattori up there trying to buy a lot of space. Going to play offensive lineman here, just block them from getting back to the cart, but that's going to be a little bit too much for them here. Everyone for JBFC going through that high ground. Jiu-Jitsu now investing this artillery straight in there. Not going to be able to find any picks, but does do a lot of damage. Now it's up to Risk to go running in. Drops the cage. Deadeye out though from Lich here, trying to find someone, but the artillery finds Braun James. But still, this is a fight that should be won here by JBFC. Once they get rid of this cat, it will be a team kill for them. Yeah, you lost Braun James in it, and it did come at the cost of, well, a lot of ultimates. But hey, you got a couple out from the other side as well. And again, another team fight win here for JBFC. Lich just poking in a little bit right now. Pip will have the blade ready to go this fight. Does AJMR maybe use the Nano on them here? That's going to be an interesting thing to see as you already see Hattori going up on that high ground. But I like what Risk is doing here, taking some attention away on that low ground, trying to get a couple people burning here right now, but they might need a little bit of help here as you see the play coming out there from Hattori. They're going to be speared away for the brief moment here. Now that we're invested on the Pip, do we see the blade come out from them? No, not yet, but they might not need it. The blade comes out, going to be able to find one, but they need to go get some health right now. As they're actually being pressured out a little bit by, I believe, the cat here, but they will find 2 with the blade. And again, another team fight victory here for JBFC, but if you can find Jiu-Jitsu and Kiwi out, a huge stagger. No ultimates online now, though, for JBFC, and you're walking into 4 on the other side. You're going to need a couple big plays coming out from a couple people here right now. Hattori building up. Risk, though, goes charging straight in. Pip and Braun James finding a couple huge picks here. So these 4 ultimates for Kintsugi going to be held on to for next fight as it's yet another team kill. But now, if you're JBFC, you're going to have to fall back here for a brief moment. Let Risk get back. Honestly, Braun James looks like they're just setting up to go carry them back in very quickly here. Not final fight territory just yet here for Kintsugi, but I mean, that was a fight that you did not need to have happen there. Nano, though, invested onto Jiu-Jitsu here. They will melt down, but a huge anti actually coming out there from AJMR shuts them down, and I mean, you're going to see a little bit of a back cap come in here right now, but it's not going to be enough. Catnap going in onto someone. They're able to pick up no one as AJMR finds Kiwi out. So 2 ultimates down in that fight. Hattori now trying to keep themselves alive here. A rock, an immovable object right there. But you love that fight. Yeah, if you're JBFC, you use 2 ultimates, but look what we have up here. 2 ultimates online for you, 2 ultimates online for the other side. The cage is going to be big for you this fight. The Deadeye for Lich, though, that can be the difference maker here. They cannot fall first here, as this is final fight territory now for JBFC. Hattori looks like they're going to be the cart touch here while the rest of the team is slowly coming in. Jiu-Jitsu trying to buy their time. They already got caught out here. The Nano invested on the Care here pretty early on. Nice play coming out. They're trying to get melted down. They get melted down before they get any of those artillery shots out. And now Hitori has to try to make a hero play right now. Not going to be able to find Bron James out, but they're being just harassed by two sides right now. Cage does come out. Going to trap anyone there for Kintsugi, but Lich, Deadeye online. Going to be able to find one. They're firing the picks they need, but Lich does fall. Hitori, do they have enough damage left in them to be able to find a lot? They have Kiwi with them, but they're focusing in on Juno right now. Put to sleep, woken up. Can they still stay alive here? You have the time right now if you're JBFC to maybe get one more touch here. But Kintsugi keeps this round alive. Ooh, losing Bron James is not what you want to see. 4 members on the cart right now. Oh, you missed the sleep. How'd you miss the sleep? I think we're going to be going into a third round. I think Care does get the touch, but it's not going to be enough there to keep it going. Care, Pip, fall. Risk. This is a big play from Risk if they're able to get anything from it, but no, it's just actually going to be only feeding them a little bit more here. 90 seconds, essentially, here for Kintsugi to push it through the door of the castle. And you already see Hitori. I mean, I'll go to Hitori here. You see where that golden box of victory is. It's a long way going here. Granted, you'll get a lot of free space right now because everyone from JBFC is coming back in, but already it's Jiu-Jitsu finding one. And they find on the Care someone who's been constantly getting the better of them in this cat passion throughout the night. 60 seconds online right now. You can afford to lose a fight right about now here if you're Kintsugi. Oh my goodness, Risk! Oh, that was too close for comfort right there, and now they're just going to be pressured out immensely. The Cat trying to come in and help save them. The Terror Surge out, not going to be able to find anyone. Anti out there. Say goodbye. Can they get them off the map? They get them off the map. No, my goodness, Kiwi with the save! Kintsugi now staring down the barrel of the victory at the moment. Do they have enough time, though? They should have it there. Now the Nano invested onto Jiu-Jitsu up in the sky. Risk, though, going to be taken out. And what was looking like JBFC was going to be able to force the map 5 slowly falling apart right now. Kintsugi, the blade from Pip. Will it do wonders? It doesn't matter. Kintsugi comes back. I thought we were going to map 5, but Kintsugi, they win this series. A lot closer of a series than I think anybody thought coming into the night. But my God, did JBFC make it tough. Kintsugi, though, goes up to 7-2 on the season. Still have 6 more games left to go, but this is looking like to be a playoff team. JBFC, on the other hand, a heartbreaking loss. Honestly, a heartbreaking loss. You would have loved to see a map 5 from them here, because I think they would have been able to show out a lot there. Just great play all around, honestly. This was a lot closer of a series than I thought it was going to be coming into the night. And if you're JBFC, you cannot hang your head on this performance. Everyone played great. There was not a map that was one-sided at all. There really was not. That's what I can say about this series. It was back and forth, and that's one thing I've been saying with a lot of these teams that are currently below that playoff line. They can punch above their weight here. And we saw it tonight with JBFC taking a very good Kintsugi team almost the distance here. But Kintsugi, they do what they needed to do here. They get that win, move up to 7-2. Like I said, I'll pull up some stats here, honestly, right now. Let me get this up on the screen for our last map of that series. And I mean, just look. Jiu-Jitsu and Care. Those are the 2 bastions. Care actually comes out on top of that one, but look at the damage by Jiu-Jitsu. Just look at the damage by the DPS lines right there. 36,000 for Kintsugi, 26,000 there for JBFC. Just great plays coming out there from both these 2 teams, really throughout this series here. And like I said, you cannot hang your head if you're Fallen Destiny. Kintsugi is a really, really good team, and you almost brought them to 5. Hell, I think if we go to a 5th map, there's a good chance that JBFC might get the upset victory there. Kintsugi, they looked vulnerable at times here tonight, and I think, especially with this Cat Bastion comp, you can definitely tell that Kiwi and Jiu-Jitsu are kind of struggling at times with it. While on the other side, I'm forgetting the name. I am forgetting the name. I feel so bad. Bron James and Care were doing so much on that Cat Bastion. Like I said, it seemed like Care was always finding the upper hand in that Cat Bastion battle throughout the entire series. Before we get going, let's take a quick look at what Kintsugi and Fallen Destiny have next year. Both these two teams still have a decent amount of games left here. So let's see what Kintsugi has left here this season. So just taking a look here. So Friday they have Hive Mind. Then Monday they have Fallen Destiny. And then next week, this is going to be a theme with a lot of teams, a lot of games. I mean, you see it on the 4th, they play the Fallen. The 6th, they play Elemental Normal. That's not going to be an easy game for them. Elemental Normals looked really good here as of late. Next Friday on the 8th, Ex Oblivione, a team that, again, is talented, but they just haven't found the results yet this season. They haven't found the results yet this season. That's the sad thing about them. Still in the playoff hunt, though. Iliad Artemis and interesting pivot on that final day of the season. So a doubleheader on May 9th. That's going to be a very interesting one because I believe them and Meow Academy have 2 games that day. I think at least Kintsugi has scheduled them at different times. As last time I looked, Meow Academy has 2 games scheduled at 9 p.m. on May 9th. Let's take a look at JBFC and their upcoming schedule here for the rest of the season. They still have 5 more games left to go. Elemental Normal, Extinction Zero, Ex Oblivione, Elemental Garden, and Interesting Pivot. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Based on the performance we saw here tonight, I honestly think all those games are winnable for them. This could be a team that sneaks its way into the playoffs. There's going to be a lot of chaos to happen here the remainder of this week and next week, just because of how many reschedules there have been. There's going to be teams that are running through gauntlets, playing day after day after day after day without having time to maybe sit back and VOD review anything and just make the same mistakes over and over again. It's going to be really interesting because there's a lot of teams that I think next week have to play 4 or 5 games. So it's going to be really, really interesting coming down to the wire here, especially as let me see if I can pull up the standings here. So it looks like Team Z did get the victory tonight over Elemental Normal, just based off what I'm seeing here. First 9-win team. And you have to say at this moment right now, Team Z is probably a lock for the playoffs, having those 9 wins, especially when you look at around that 8th place at the moment. Teams with 5 losses, but you probably expect to see teams with 6, maybe even 7 losses make the playoffs here. So I would say Team Z is maybe the first lock for the season. But they still have another matchup here tonight against the Fallen in about 12 minutes. And I know there's a lot of people covering that one. I know PC New York, believe you're covering that one. I know Bullskunk's covering that one. I know there's a lot of people covering that one because that is a big matchup this late in the season. Dildux Vivacity has been my favorite team so far this entire season. 1 more win, I think, guarantees them a spot. I think 8 wins, they're safe at the moment, but 1 more win makes me feel a lot more comfortable. But then look, Amplify, Kintsugi, Meow, they still have a lot more games to go throughout this entire season. So it's going to be really interesting here. But as you can hear, my voice is kind of going away. This was an incredible series. JBFC falls in it. But again, I don't think they should hang their head on this one at all. They almost brought Kintsugi the distance here. And I think a lot of people are still looking at this Kintsugi team, even after the blow up and the rebuild, as one of those teams that could be a contender to make it to a decent run in the playoffs here. But everyone, thank you so much for coming out here tonight. If you stick around a little bit, I'll try to see if I can find someone to raid. It will most likely, PC New York, I believe you said you were streaming this one, so I'll probably raid you. If not, it'll be Bullskunk. But everyone, stick around. Again, thank you so much for coming out here tonight. This was an incredible series. And like PC New York said, this was going to be a sleeper banger of a series. And it was just that. JBFC, so close. So very close. But Kintsugi, they found ways to win here tonight. And they go up to 7-2 on the season. Still 6 more games left to go for them. So a lot could change. But right now, Kintsugi looking like one of those teams that's going to be punching a playoff ticket here. Probably, honestly, by the end of the weekend here. So, everyone, again, thank you so much for coming out. Stick around. I'm going to find someone to raid here very, very shortly.